It was the kind of cold that didn't just touch your skin, it slid into your bones and stayed there. I remember that Christmas break clearly because I wasn't allowed to enjoy a second of it. My parents had grounded me again. Some minor infraction twisted into a complete 2-week sentence. No gifts, no outings, no electronics, just silence and scorn. The weight of their disappointment was heavier than the cold outside, and I felt a deep sense of isolation and longing for freedom. That night, they were heading out with friends for a party. Their friends dropped off 2 big golden retrievers to play with our own, Tanner. I was told to stay in, feed the dogs, and not break anything. The house was decked out, as always, with those hollow plastic candles in every window, wired up to a central switch. They weren't fancy, but my mom thought they looked classy. The kind of thing you wouldn't want a grounded kid to mess with. As soon as the car pulled away and I was officially alone, I did what any teenager would do. I turned on the TV in the living room. The dogs all piled in with me, curling into warm shapes at my feet. The room was still wrapped in red and green garland. The only lights came from the soft flicker of the television and the dim, warm candlelight that lined the front windows. I felt a soft isolation, a cocoon of safety amidst the cold. The snow outside dulled the world, and for a moment I could almost forget I was grounded. But the dog's sudden alertness and the eerie silence of the night shattered my illusion, sending a shiver of fear down my spine. It was a fear that seemed to grow with each passing moment, a tension that filled the air and made my heart race. I was terrified, my mind racing with possibilities of what could be causing this disturbance. Then, the barking started, shattering the tranquility of the night and sending a shiver down my spine. All 3 dogs sprang up like they'd heard a gunshot. Their sudden alertness was unsettling, as their behavior did not match the quiet night. They ran to the front door, growling, pacing, whining. Their actions, so out of character, sent a chill down my spine, intensifying my growing fear and unease. I muted the TV, my heart picking up. I approached the window near the front door and peeked out, my breath coming out in small puffs of mist. I strained my eyes to see through the darkness. Nothing. The yard was blanketed in untouched snow. The porch light was steady. No car. No people. No animals. No footprints. I felt a chill run down my spine, my heart pounding in my chest. Still, their hackles were up. All I could do was gently coax them back to the couch. Eventually they calmed. It wasn't long before it happened again, each time heightening the sense of unease and mystery. I remember the second time because it startled me more than the first. They weren't barking this time. They were whining, low and sharp, and pacing in wide circles near the same window. Again, I looked. Again, nothing. Maybe it was just a squirrel, I thought, or a car turning around in the cul-de-sac, headlights playing tricks on their instincts. But the repeated incidents were starting to chip away at my rationalizations, leaving a growing sense of unease and mystery. But it happened a 3rd time. Then, a 4th. Then, a 5th. Each time, the barking grew more frantic. I tried checking other windows and walking outside onto the porch with a flashlight. Still no sign of life. And then came the last time. I'd just gotten up again to hush the dogs, who were now trembling rather than barking. I remember kneeling near the window, trying to silence them, but they weren't looking directly at the door anymore. Their gaze had shifted slightly to the left, toward the candle. I looked at it. Nothing unusual. Then, it exploded. No sound, no warning. The plastic candle shot backward from the windowsill like it had been yanked. The plug tore from the outlet. It hit the wall with a sharp crack, and the bulb shattered on the floor inches from my feet. The dogs went berserk. Their snarling echoed off the walls. They didn't run at the window. They ran away. So did I. I grabbed all 3 leashes, even though none of them needed one indoors. I remember shouting, something panicked and incoherent, and rushing up the stairs to my room with the dogs tugging at me, just as desperate to escape. I locked the door behind us. Dumb, maybe, but it made me feel like I had done something. We stayed there for the rest of the night. I kept the dogs in my bed and left the light on. Every creak of the house felt deliberate. Every whistle of wind against the siding made me clench my fists. At some point, I must have dozed off. When I woke up, the sky outside had turned a pale, washed-out blue. A car door slammed below. My parents were home. I crept downstairs cautiously, dogs still pressed to my legs. The house smelled faintly of leftover cider and pine needles. The TV was off. The broken candle lay in pieces where I'd left it. The cord still curled on the floor like something had pulled it. My mom's first reaction? "What did you do to my window candle?" She didn't wait for an answer. My punishment was extended. My explanation, if I'd even tried, would have only earned laughter or another week locked away. I didn't say anything. It's not about the barking. Not about the window. Not about the way that candle left the wall like it had been thrown. It was as if something unseen had violently rejected its presence. A chilling reminder that not everything is as it seems. I thought about unplugging the rest. I really did. But part of me was afraid I'd find out which ones could move too. I spent the rest of that break in my room, pretending none of it happened. However, the dogs would no longer go near the living room. Even when my parents were home, the fear lingered. The incident had left an indelible mark on our home, a lingering unease that refused to be forgotten.